Hello and welcome to Low Budget Gaming and welcome to another first Descendant video. So we got the developer dev stream earlier today, 20th of August or 27th if you are in North America. And they've also provided you with a nice summary here on their website. I'll link it below so I don't have to go through the whole thing. I'll just focus on some of the important things here. So they'll be adding Ultimate Luna next week on the 4th of September along with the Husky Fellow and the launch. There will be three new ultimate modules along with three trigger modules. These actually make a big difference, as you'll see later in this video. And yeah, a few quality of life things. So overall, surprisingly better than I expected because I was thinking there isn't much here. The lounge itself is actually pretty good, a big sort of apartment type area where you can arrange your descendants, you can arrange all your collectibles, things like chest attachments and back attachments and weapons. And also there will be new collectibles to collect in the game. So basically they'll be adding a couple of new types of coins that will drop in various missions like the Sigma Sector Axiom Plains. And then when you collect enough of these coins, you can go and purchase certain figurines and things like that to display around your town. So that is pretty good, and it's good that it's not just a pure caliber purchase type thing. Although they did mention that some limited time stuff can be purchased, so we shall see. But as long as it's earnable, I'm happy. I don't mind collecting new stuff. So overall, the lounge looks pretty good. You access it via the main sort of spawn location in Albion. On the right, there's a middle elevator, and you go up there. Now, hopefully, they add more things here, and I think they will. I would like to see a garage, if possible, like one of the elevators goes down, and you can go and check out your bikes there. That would be nice. Hopefully, they consider something like this. But yeah, this was actually a little better than I was expecting. So that is a good start with the launch. Now, Ultimate Luna, since she's coming out next week, I won't go into too much detail, but there'll be two Transcendent mods, and one of them will remove the unique ability and give you firearm buffs. The other one will give you more ranged abilities and things like that. You can also move around when you're on the hoverboard, things like that. So overall, it looks pretty good, and the damage output also looks pretty good. So one of them is called the Battlefield Concert, and the other is Battlefield Artist. There'll also be a Luna storyline where you'll find out why she has a tattoo and the scar on the right shoulder and things like that. So yeah, looks good. And I've played Luna. Luna is still pretty good. It's just the gameplay style is a little tricky to get used to. So yeah, hopefully this makes it more comfortable to use, and she's better in the action plays. Now, the most surprising thing, in my opinion, was the addition of new trigger modules. So they'll be adding three new trigger modules. One is called Blazing Zone, one is called Tactical Acceleration, and one is called Storm Bullet. Now, the Blazing Zone will create a continuous damage field when you're using an ability with the Toad effect. So meaning Nell and Lepic will benefit. So this is like an indirect buff to Lepic. And then we have something called Tactical Acceleration. So this is basically for gun-based descendants, people like Enzo especially, where you are using a supply skill, and when you do that, your gun automatically reloads for about 8.5 seconds or something like that. So this will actually make Enzo closer to Glay, for example. Now, this will not be continuous all the time. This will be basically for 8.5 seconds, and then it'll be cooldown, and then you trigger it again. But if you have the ammo, you can fire continuously for 8.5 seconds. So that is impressive, and this should help Enzo quite a lot. He was already pretty good if you saw my recent build video, and this should make it really good. And the third one is called Storm Bullet. Now, this should be very good for Sharon. So this is like an indirect buff to Sharon. So this creates a Eye of the Storm per piercing projectile, dealing continuous damage. So people like Sharon, Serena, and Nell can benefit, but Sharon with her fourth ability, I think will benefit the most. So that is a good move because this will make her more viable. She was pretty decent, but this will also help quite a bit. I actually had a build ready and for Bunny, for Sharon, and for Esimo that I was going to release soon. But now with this update coming out, I'll just wait until this is out and I have these trigger modules, and then I can update the builds. Now they also added three ultimate modules as well, and one of them is especially good. So first one is called Critical Point Breakthrough. So increases movement speed and skill damage proportional to the number of buffs and decreases your defense. So again, this could be useful. We'll need to experiment a little bit. The next one is called Intimidation Release. Now this one looks like perfect for Ajax or any Descendant, to be honest. So this will deal additional damage proportional to the defense. So if you have a lot of defense, it will do more damage. And this looks like it's tailor-made for Ajax, but anybody can really use it. Like, we have defense on the cores now, and we sometimes use things like spear and shield, things like that. So we can add a couple of defense mods, put all the defense cores on your external components, and we could have a lot of defense, and now it will be of some benefit, like doing the actual damage. So this is definitely going to help Ajax, but some of the others can also benefit from this. And then the final ultimate module is called Life on the Edge. Increases critical hit damage when HP is 50% or below. So we have one for Glay that we use, not just for Glay, but for anyone. It's called Walker Tightrope. So when your HP drops below 50%, you do more firearm damage. So this is sort of like that, but this increases your critical hit damage by 106%. So that is insane. So yeah, so that's pretty good. Now the new dog, Husky, it will do everything that the others do, like pick up your loot and dismantle them, but this dog will heal your MP. So the sheepdog heals your HP, the hunting dog gives you some ammo, but this guy will give you MP. So this will be a good match for some of the Descendants that tend to use more MP, someone like VSF, for example. So yeah, so this could be good if the MP recovery is enough. 30 seconds, 16%, so may not make that much of a difference, but still anything helps. So we shall see. A few other quality of life changes. So there'll be a leaderboard feature. So for example, if you look at the Void Erosion Purge and you see somebody ranked 1 or 2 and you want to look at their builds, you can see stuff like that. I mean, you can still see it, but it's a bit more tricky, like you have to enter their username and stuff like that. Now it'll be a little easier. I don't know if it's that useful or not, because I've rarely ever looked into anything like that. And then they've also added more improvement in the filtering of your inventory. So for example, if you go in your external components and you type in mage set, that's what they were showing, it'll just filter out the mage set, for example, and things like that. Other improvements, like with the hover bike, if you hit a monster, you'll not stop or like not get stuck. You can just push through them. And also if you are using your unique weapons with certain Descendants, you can mount your bike quickly. And then they also had this thing about wall crusher and your contribution. So basically every week, as you know, you have to contribute some damage, and then you get those research time reduction next week. So they're adjusting that somehow. So we'll see. Then there'll also be some adjustments to the battle pass and the daily challenges. Some of them were a little too much, like 5,000 kills with a toxic Descendant. So they're going to make that a bit easier. Next, we have some Descendant adjustments. So Lepic gets a full rework for September, and basically he will have more power with his second skill. It'll increase your critical hit damage, and the Transcendent module explosive tag also sees more buffs. So yeah, so Lepic, based on what they should look like, he'll be more decent now and useful. Blair, Freyna, and Bunny are also getting numerical buffs. So basically, probably a little more damage, maybe less MP consumption, things like that. So yeah, they're just sort of making them a little more useful in the action place. I thought Freyna was fine without the contagion mode, but yeah, they're going to buff her a little bit. So a lot of people like playing Freyna. Then they have 3 new events. These are pretty good in my opinion. I like these events because every day you log in, you do a few missions, you get a bunch of useful items. So first one is called Sing Along with Luna. So basically acquire Luna, put modules into Luna, things like that. You do that and you get some useful items. The next one is regarding the collectible stuff. So you do some activities based on the collectible items and stuff like that, and you get some rewards. And then you have Luna's Music Journal Attendance event. So this is the daily login event. This one is a shorter one, 14 days, but again, you get useful items. And 2 of those days, you will be getting the blueprints boxes as well for Luna and Husky. So if you're missing out things, you may get lucky and get something from there. So that is those are the events. They'll also have the voting for the skin contest. So if you remember, people had sent their designs, and after from the 2nd of September until the 16th, you can vote for one Descendant skin that you like and one Husky skin, or let's say the Fellow skin, I should say. And anybody with the mastery rank 10 can take part. So yeah, you can take part and vote for your favorite skins. And also the devs and the first Descendant team will be present at the Tokyo Games show, which I think is on the 25th of September, and they will mention or preview their next collab, which is I think coming in November, I think, or maybe October. So basically, the thing I liked quite a lot here was the fact that the collectibles are earnable, so you don't have to pay real money for it or caliber. So that is pretty good. The launch seemed better than I expected. The best thing I think overall was the new trigger modules and the ultimate modules, which are indirectly buffing a lot of people, and so that will help balance things. So Lepic gets a full rework, but people like Sharon benefit. People like Ajax can benefit with the ultimate module, and then you have people like Enzo who will benefit with the trigger module. So quite a lot of people are getting buffs, and this should help even out and have more options for you to play in the action plays and other places. So yeah, that's pretty good. And also Blair, Bunny, and Freyna also getting slight buffs, so that should also make them more viable for people who are not playing them. So yeah, so that is it for this one. Overall, I think this was much better than I was expecting. And yeah, look forward to checking this out next week. In the meantime, I'll try and see if there's anything else I can cover, but I'll wait until the 4th of September and we get all these mods and stuff to release some of the builds. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm looking forward to this one.